Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to Super English Talks. My name is Sarah, and I'm very happy to see you here today. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I know you want to improve your English, and that is wonderful. You are doing something very good for yourself. Learning English can open many doors in your life. It can help you study, travel, make friends, and even find new jobs. But I also know that sometimes it feels very difficult. Maybe you feel shy to speak, or maybe you don't understand people when they talk very fast. Don't worry, my friend. I completely understand you. I have helped many students who felt the same way, and I promise you that you can learn English too. You just need time, practice, and a little bit of love for learning. Today we're going to talk about how to learn English step by step, and we will also do some listening practice together. I want you to feel relaxed. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to speak like a native speaker. You just need to understand more every day. That is the real goal. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's begin our lesson. First, let's talk about listening. Listening is one of the most important skills in English, but also one of the hardest for many people. Why is it hard? Because when people speak English, they often speak fast. They connect words together, they use short forms like gonna or wanna, and they use many different accents. So, when you listen, maybe you feel lost. You catch one or two words, but not the whole meaning. That's normal. Everyone starts like that. The good news is that listening can be trained, just like muscles. The more you practice listening, the better you understand. So, how do we practice listening the right way? I'll show you step by step. The first step is to listen every day, even if only for a short time. Don't wait for a big lesson or a free weekend. You can listen to English anywhere, while you cook, walk, clean your room, or sit on a bus. You can listen to easy podcasts, YouTube videos, songs, or stories. The secret is not about time, but about consistency. Listen a little every single day. When you listen often, your ears slowly learn the rhythm and music of English. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain is learning patterns. It's like how children learn their first language. They listen first, then they speak later. So don't rush, and don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen and enjoy. The second step is to choose materials that are not too hard. Many learners make a mistake. They try to listen to native speakers who speak very fast, and then they feel sad because they don't understand. That's not your fault. It's just too advanced for now. So, choose things that are a little easy for you. You should understand about 70% of the words. That way, you can guess the meaning of new words and stay motivated. If you understand nothing, you'll get tired quickly. So choose stories or conversations for your level. For example, if you are at AB1 level, you can listen to slow news, English lessons, or easy podcasts. Now, let's do a small listening practice together. I'll read a short story slowly. Listen carefully and try to understand the meaning. You don't have to translate in your head. Just listen. Last Sunday, Emma woke up early. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing outside her window. She smiled and said, "Today, I will go for a walk in the park." She put on her shoes, took her phone, and went outside. In the park, she saw children playing, people running, and families having picnics. She sat on a bench and listened to the sound of the wind in the trees. It made her feel peaceful. Then she met her friend David. They talked for a while about work and life. After that, they bought ice cream and laughed together. It was a simple day, but a happy one. Okay, that was our short story. Now let's talk about what we heard. Did you understand what happened? Emma woke up early on Sunday. She went for a walk in the park, and she met her friend. It was a happy and calm day. See? That's listening practice. You don't need a big test or long exercise. Just listen to short, simple stories and think about the meaning. You can repeat them several times until you understand everything. Another good idea is to use subtitles the first time you listen. For example, if you watch a video in English, you can turn on English subtitles. This helps you connect the sound with the words. But after you understand it, try to listen again without subtitles. This will help your ears get stronger. Slowly, you will understand more without reading. Now, let's talk about pronunciation. Listening and pronunciation are best friends. If you cannot pronounce a word correctly, it's often hard to recognize it when someone says it. So, when you listen, also try to repeat what you hear. Repeat sentences aloud. Don't be shy. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. Repeating helps you feel the sounds and rhythm of English. You can pause a video, repeat a line, and then play it again to check. This is called shadowing. It's a great exercise for both listening and speaking. When you listen, don't just focus on words. Also listen to how people speak. Do they sound happy, sad, excited, or serious? This is called intonation. English is full of feelings. When you learn to listen to tone and emotion, you understand people better. Sometimes, meaning is not in the words, but in how they are said. For example, if someone says, "Really?" in a happy tone, they mean they are surprised or interested. But if they say, "Really?" in a flat or angry tone, it means they don't believe you. So listen not just with your ears, but with your heart. Listening practice is not only about audio. It's about attention. Many people listen, but they don't pay attention. Their mind is somewhere else. To really learn, you must listen actively. What does that mean? Active listening means you focus on understanding the meaning. You think about what the speaker is saying. You guess what comes next. You notice new words and try to understand them from the context. Active listening is powerful because your brain stays awake and learns faster. Now, let's talk about how to make a good learning plan. Many students want to learn English fast, but they don't have a plan. They do a little bit of grammar one day, a bit of vocabulary the next day, and some listening once a week. But that's not very effective. You need a simple, clear plan. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just 3 or 4 things every day. For example, you can decide that every morning you will listen to English for 15 minutes. Then in the afternoon, you can read something short. In the evening, you can practice speaking for 10 minutes. That's enough. If you do this every day, your English will grow naturally. It's not about studying 10 hours in one day. It's about studying a little every day for a long time. Also, remember to relax. Learning English should be fun. If you always feel stressed, your brain will not learn well. You can watch movies, listen to songs, or read stories that you enjoy. Learning with joy is the best way to remember. When you like what you do, your brain wants to learn more. And now, let's do a short listening and speaking exercise together. I'll say a sentence slowly, and you repeat after me. Ready? I like learning English. I practice a little every day. Listening helps me understand people. Speaking helps me share my ideas. I am not afraid of mistakes. I am improving every day. Wonderful. You did great. You see, English learning is a journey. Every small step counts. Even when you make mistakes, you are still learning. Mistakes are your teachers. Don't be afraid of them. Every time you correct yourself, you become stronger. Now that we talked about daily listening and practice, let's go a little deeper and understand how to train your listening step by step. Listening is not only about hearing words. It is about understanding sounds, patterns, and meanings together. When you start, it's normal that English sounds like one long song, and you can't tell where one word ends and another begins. That is okay. Step by step, your brain will start to hear the pieces clearly, just like when you first learned your own language. The first step in training your listening is slow listening. That means you choose audio that is slow and clear. You can find many slow English podcasts or videos online. When you listen slowly, your brain can focus better. You can hear every sound and word. Play one short audio, maybe just 1 or 2 minutes, and listen carefully. Don't worry about understanding everything at first. Just enjoy the sound. Then, listen again and again. Every time you will understand more. Repetition is your best friend. The second step is focused listening. That means you listen with a goal. For example, you can listen for specific things. Maybe you want to catch all the verbs, or you want to listen for the names of people or places. When you have a goal, your ears become more active. You can even write down what you hear. For example, if you listen to a story, write down new words you don't understand. Later, you can check their meaning and listen again. Slowly, those words will become familiar to you. The third step is real listening. After you practice slow and focused listening, try to listen to real English from real people. That means movies, songs, interviews, and conversations. At first, it might be hard, but it's okay. Choose short clips, maybe 1 or 2 minutes long, and listen many times. First with subtitles, then without. When you watch movies or shows, choose ones you like. If you love comedy, watch funny scenes. If you love travel, watch travel videos. When you enjoy the content, your mind relaxes and remembers better. Real English also helps you understand accents, intonation, and natural expressions that people really use. Now, let's practice a small real listening example together. I'll tell you another simple story. Listen carefully and try to imagine it in your mind. Tom works in a small bakery. Every morning, he wakes up at 5 o'clock. The streets are quiet, and the sky is still dark. He puts on his apron and starts baking bread. The smell of fresh bread fills the air. He likes his job because he can see people smile when they eat his bread. Around 7 o'clock, the bakery gets busy. People come to buy breakfast and coffee. Tom talks with them, always smiling. Even though he works hard, he feels happy because he knows he is making people's mornings better. That was our story. When you listen to short stories like this, try to understand the main idea first. What is the story about? It's about Tom, his bakery, and how he enjoys helping people start their day. After that, you can focus on details. When does he wake up? What does he do first? What time do people come? Listening like this trains your brain to understand both general and specific information. Another great method is to use English songs. Songs are wonderful for listening practice because they are fun and full of emotion. Choose slow songs with clear lyrics. Listen many times, and try to sing along. This helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and memory. For example, when you sing Let It Be by the Beatles, you learn how words connect naturally in real speech. Singing is not only for fun, it's an amazing listening tool. You can even write down the lyrics by ear as a small challenge. Also, stories and audiobooks are powerful tools. When you listen to stories, your imagination works together with your ears. This makes learning stronger. Choose short and easy stories first. Children's books are great because they use simple vocabulary and clear pronunciation. Listen to one chapter every day. You can even read the same story while listening. This helps you connect written and spoken English. Let's talk a little about vocabulary and memory. Many learners think they must memorize long lists of words. But that's not very effective. The best way to remember words is through context. That means hearing them in real sentences. When you hear a word many times in different situations, your brain remembers it naturally. For example, if you hear the word bake in the story about Tom, and then you hear it again in another video about cooking, your brain connects those moments. Soon you will remember it easily. So instead of memorizing, focus on listening and reading often. Your vocabulary will grow automatically. When you find a new word, don't just look at the translation in your language. Try to understand it from the situation. For example, if someone says, "I'm starving," and you see them looking for food, you can guess it means very hungry. Guessing from context is a very powerful skill. It makes you more independent. Another important step is listening to different accents. English is spoken all over the world, and people sound different in America, Britain, Canada, Australia, and many other places. Even people from India, the Philippines, or Africa speak English beautifully with their own accents. Don't worry if they sound different. That's normal. Try to listen to many accents so your ears become flexible. You don't need to understand everyone perfectly, but you should recognize the variety of English in the world. It makes you more confident when you meet new people. Remember, English is not about perfection. It's about communication. The goal is to understand and be understood. Here's a small exercise to help you build confidence. After listening to me now, try to talk to yourself in English for 1 minute. You can talk about your day, your plans, or how you feel. It doesn't matter if it's simple. The goal is to keep your mouth moving in English. When you talk to yourself, you don't feel shy. You can practice freely. This helps you become comfortable with English sounds and builds your speaking confidence naturally. Now, let's talk about listening with emotion. When you listen with feelings, your brain remembers better. That's why stories are so powerful. They make you feel something. When you listen to a sad story, you remember it because it touched your heart. When you listen to a funny one, it makes you smile, and that emotion helps you remember. So when you choose listening materials, pick ones that make you feel something. Happiness, surprise, curiosity, or even sadness. Emotion is memory's best friend. Also, use your body while learning. Sometimes when you listen, try to act out what you hear. For example, if the story says, "She opened the window," you can make the motion of opening a window. When you use movement, you connect listening with action, and that makes learning stronger and more fun. Now let's take a small break and do a calm listening activity together. I will tell you another short story. Listen slowly, relax, and imagine the scene. Anna loves the rain. Every time it rains, she sits by the window with a cup of tea. She watches the drops fall and listens to the sound. It makes her feel peaceful. One day, she saw a little bird sitting outside, getting wet. She opened her umbrella and went outside. She put the umbrella above the bird, and the bird stayed there quietly. Anna smiled. She knew she couldn't stop the rain, but she could make it a little better for someone else. Now think about that story. What did you feel? Maybe you imagined the rain, the sound, the kindness of Anna. This is not only listening practice, it's also emotional practice. You connect English with feelings, and that makes your learning more human. Also, try to listen actively to real people. If you have friends or teachers who speak English, don't just wait for your turn to talk. Really listen to what they say. Look at their face, notice how they use words, and respond naturally. This helps you train real communication skills. Active listening is one of the most important soft skills in life, not just in English. It shows respect, attention, and understanding. Finally, I want to remind you to enjoy this journey. English is not just a language. It's a bridge that connects you with people, stories, and the world. Every new word you learn is a small door opening to new experiences. So be proud of yourself. You are already learning, already improving. And remember, you have me, Sarah, here on Super English Talks, always cheering for you. Together, we will keep practicing, keep listening, and keep growing. Let's talk about how you can use English listening practice in your real daily life and create your own English world around you. Learning English should not only happen during study time, it should become a small part of everything you do. You can turn your day into a language adventure without stress or pressure. For example, when you are cooking, you can listen to an easy English recipe video and follow along. When you clean your room, you can listen to a story, a short news clip, or even one of my lessons here on Super English Talks. When you walk outside, you can describe what you see in your mind in English. Like, the sky is blue, the children are playing, the wind feels nice. This small thinking practice helps you connect listening, speaking, and daily life together. English becomes something natural, not something heavy or difficult. If you have a phone, you already have a small English world in your pocket. You can change the language of your phone to English. At first it may look strange, but soon you will learn many useful words naturally because you will see them every day. For example, when you see words like settings, gallery, camera, message, or update, you start learning them without studying. These small daily touches build strong memory. You can also listen to English radio, or follow social media accounts that share English content. Every small sound and word you hear adds up. Now let's talk about the people around you. Maybe you don't have native English speakers nearby, but that's okay. You can still create an English environment by yourself. You can find online speaking partners, join English clubs, or use language exchange apps. When you listen and talk to real people, you learn how English feels in real conversations. Don't be shy. Everyone who joins these communities is learning too. You can start simple. Hello, how are you? Or what did you do today? Even short conversations help a lot. The more you listen to real people, the more confident you become. Listening in real life is sometimes faster than in lessons. People use slang, shorten words, and change their tone. Don't worry if you don't catch everything. The key is to understand the main idea. When someone talks, focus on the most important words. For example, if you hear, yesterday I went to the beach with my friends, even if you miss one small word, you still understand the main story. You don't need to understand every single word to communicate. Communication means sharing meaning, not perfection. Let's do another small practice together. Listen carefully and try to imagine the situation. James is at the supermarket. He is buying fruits and vegetables. He picks up some apples, bananas, and carrots. Then he goes to the bakery section and buys some bread. At the cashier he says, "Good morning. How are you today?" The cashier smiles and says, "I'm good, thank you. Do you need a bag?" James says, "Yes, please," and gives the money. He takes his groceries and says, "Have a nice day," as he leaves. Now, did you imagine the scene? Could you see James in the supermarket, talking politely? That's real-life English. This kind of listening helps you get ready for real situations. You learn how to use greetings, questions, and polite expressions. When you listen to such short stories every day, you start to feel how English works in daily communication. You can also use English when you talk to yourself. Many people think they need a partner to practice speaking, but that's not true. You can listen to something and then talk about it alone. For example, if you listen to a short story, you can say, "In the story, James went to the supermarket. He bought fruits and bread." Or you can describe your own day. "Today I listened to Sarah's lesson. I learned new words. I feel happy." Talking to yourself may feel funny at first, but it's one of the best ways to improve. You listen, think, and speak at the same time. Let's talk about positivity now. Sometimes, learning English can feel slow. You might think, "I've been learning for years, but I still make mistakes." Please, don't be hard on yourself. Mistakes are normal and beautiful. They mean you are learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The secret is to focus on progress, not perfection. Every small thing you do, every minute you listen, every word you understand, every sentence you speak, moves you forward. You are not the same as yesterday. You are better today, even if you don't feel it yet. One powerful way to stay positive is to notice your improvements. Keep a small English journal. Every week, write down what you learned or what you can do now that you couldn't do before. For example, this week I understood a full story without subtitles, or I learned to say a new sentence clearly. When you look back after a few months, you'll see how much you have grown. This gives you motivation to keep going. Also, give yourself small rewards. If you listen for 10 days in a row, treat yourself to something you like. Maybe your favorite snack or a relaxing walk. Celebrate your effort. You are working hard, and you deserve to feel proud. Another important thing is to rest when you need to. Learning English should make you happy, not tired or stressed. If you ever feel bored, take a short break. Listen to music, watch something funny, or do something different for a while. When you come back, you'll feel fresh again. Remember, learning is like breathing. It should feel natural, not forced. Now let's do another gentle listening moment. Close your eyes if you can, and listen carefully. Maria lives near the sea. Every evening, she walks along the beach and listens to the sound of the waves. She takes deep breaths and feels the cool air on her face. Sometimes she listens to English songs while she walks. She doesn't understand every word, but she enjoys the rhythm and the feeling of the music. Slowly, she begins to recognize more and more words. One day, she realizes she can sing along without looking at the lyrics. That makes her smile. You see, learning can be calm and joyful, just like Maria's walk by the sea. You don't need pressure or fear. You need peace, patience, and consistency. When you enjoy English, it becomes a part of who you are. Also, be curious. When you listen to something and hear a new word, don't be afraid of it. Let curiosity guide you. Ask, "What does this word mean?" and find out. Curiosity keeps your learning alive. Every new word is a little mystery waiting to be discovered. Now, let's talk about balance. Listening is very important, but you should also combine it with reading, writing, and speaking. These skills support each other. When you listen, you hear pronunciation and rhythm. When you read, you see spelling and structure. When you speak, you practice sound and confidence. When you write, you organize your thoughts. So, if you practice a little of each every day, your English will become strong in every direction. You don't need to study for hours. Just 15 to 30 minutes a day of listening and 10 minutes of speaking can make a big difference over time. It's like exercise. Small, regular practice is better than one long session once in a while. Finally, Remember that everyone learns at a different speed. Maybe your friend understands movies faster, or someone else speaks more fluently. That's okay. Your journey is yours. Compare only with your past self, not with others. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Every person learns in their own beautiful way. You have learned so much already about daily listening, simple routines, confidence, and enjoying the process. But now, I want to take you one step further into what I call deep listening. Deep listening means listening not only with your ears but also with your heart and your full attention. It means feeling the meaning behind the words, not just hearing them. When you listen deeply, you connect more strongly with English, and it becomes something you truly understand, not just a sound that passes by. Let's try a deep listening exercise together. I will tell you a longer story. I want you to imagine it clearly in your mind, see the people, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions. Don't worry about every word. Focus on the story and the feeling. Ready? Let's begin. Liam lived in a small town surrounded by mountains. Every morning, he walked to a little cafe where he worked as a waiter. The cafe was warm and cozy, with the smell of coffee and bread in the air. Many people came there every day, and Liam liked talking to them. He always smiled and said, "Good morning. How are you today?" One day, an old woman came to the cafe. She looked tired but kind. She sat near the window and ordered tea. When Liam brought the tea, she said softly, "You have a nice smile. You remind me of my grandson." Liam smiled again and said, "Thank you, ma'am. That's very kind." They talked for a while about life, family, and the beauty of the mountains. When she left, she said, "Keep smiling, young man. The world needs more of that." Liam never forgot those words. Every day after that, when he felt tired, he remembered the old woman and smiled again. He realized that even small moments of kindness can make life brighter. Now take a moment to think about that story. What did you feel? Did you see the cafe in your mind? Did you feel the warmth of that small kindness? This is deep listening, not only hearing but understanding and feeling. When you listen like this, your English becomes a part of you. You connect words with emotion, and your memory becomes stronger. You can practice deep listening anytime. Choose stories that touch your heart. After listening, close your eyes and imagine them. Then, talk or write about how you felt. For example, you can say, "This story made me feel happy because it shows kindness." This simple reflection helps you think and express yourself in English more naturally. Now, let's talk about long-term motivation. Many learners start with excitement, but after a few months, they feel tired or lose focus. That's normal for every goal in life. To stay motivated, you need a clear reason for learning English. Ask yourself, why am I learning English? Maybe it's to travel, to study, to find a better job, or to make friends around the world. Write your reason on a piece of paper and keep it where you can see it. Every time you feel tired, read it again. It will remind you why you started. Also, find small joys in your English journey. Maybe you love English songs, movies, or books. Use them as your reward. When you connect learning with joy, you never feel bored. If you love cooking, watch English cooking shows. If you love sports, listen to sports podcasts in English. When you combine English with your passions, learning becomes fun and natural. Remember to look back sometimes and see how far you've come. Maybe you still make mistakes, but think about where you were 1 year ago. Could you understand this lesson back then? Probably not as much as now. That means you are growing. Growth is not always visible day by day, but it's happening quietly, like a flower blooming slowly under the sun. You can't see it every moment, but one day, it's there, beautiful and strong. Another tip for staying motivated is to learn with others. Learning alone can sometimes feel lonely, but when you share your journey, it becomes more exciting. Join online English groups, talk with friends, or even teach someone something small you've learned. Teaching helps you remember better. When you explain a word or a story to another person, you understand it more deeply yourself. Now, let's do another calm listening activity together. A small story to train your deep listening again. Sophie loved to draw. Every afternoon, she sat by her window and painted the world she saw. She painted the sky, the trees, and the people walking by. But one day, she ran out of colors. She only had gray paint left. She felt sad and thought, I can't make beautiful pictures with gray. Then her father came and said, Sophie, beauty is not only in colors. It's in how you see the world. So she started painting again, using only gray, but she added shadows, light, and imagination. When she finished, the picture looked alive. She smiled because she learned that creativity is not about what you have, but how you use it. That story teaches a beautiful lesson for learning English too. You may feel like you don't have everything. Maybe no teacher, no fancy books, no perfect accent. But what you have, your heart, your effort, your curiosity, is enough. Learning is not about what tools you have. It's about how you use them. Every small action you take, every word you listen to, makes you better. Also, remember to forgive yourself for forgetting. Sometimes you will listen to something and later forget the words. That's okay. Forgetting is part of learning. When you hear it again, your brain remembers faster. So don't feel bad. It's just how our minds work. Repetition is not a problem. It's a powerful tool. Now let's do one last short story together before we finish today's long and lovely session. Listen closely, feel relaxed, and imagine the scene. Ben loved to learn English, but sometimes he got frustrated. He listened every day but still couldn't understand movies without subtitles. One evening, he wanted to give up. He sat quietly, feeling sad. His younger sister came and said, Ben, remember when you learned to ride a bike? You fell many times, but you got up again and again. Now you ride fast and free. Ben smiled. He realized that learning English was the same. The next morning, he listened again with hope. Slowly, week by week, he understood more. One day, he watched a movie and understood it without subtitles. He laughed with joy because he finally saw the result of his hard work. My dear friends, I want you to be like Ben. Don't give up. Even when learning feels slow, remember that every minute counts. Every sound you listen to, every sentence you repeat, every story you enjoy brings you closer to fluency. English is not a test to pass. It's a beautiful skill that grows with time, love, and patience. Now, before we finish, take a deep breath. You have listened for a long time today. You have practiced not only your ears but also your heart. You learned that listening is not just hearing words, it's feeling meaning, connecting with stories, and discovering yourself through another language. I'm so proud of you. You are doing something wonderful. Every day you choose to learn, you are opening doors to a bigger world. So my final message for you is this. Keep listening, keep learning, and never stop believing in yourself. Speak without fear, listen with curiosity, and learn with love. You can do this. English will become easier and more natural for you, step by step. Remember, even when progress feels small, it is still progress. You are growing, just like a flower that slowly opens under the morning sun. Thank you so much for spending this time with me here on Super English Talks. I hope you feel calm, inspired, and ready to continue your beautiful English journey. My name is Sarah, and I'll always be here to guide you, to talk with you, and to help you learn English in a friendly and easy way. So keep smiling, keep listening, and I'll see you in our next lesson. Have a wonderful day, my dear friends.